Actually, pretty good detail on the wolves. Okay. That's what he does, though. Oh, he did traps. Jesus Christ. Fucking booby trap that shit. So it's his casting speed that gives him extra. Oh, but the logic of the fact that he's 4 times faster, even if his magic was weaker, the ability to rapid cast actually would give him the edge. Oh, that's gonna bite them in the ass, huh? Oh shit, my sister's gonna grow up. She's growing up too fast. What does that say? Oh, the media's now. It's like messing with his self-confidence, but how we're quickly negating it seemingly. From being too edgy or depression-filled. Oh. So you're just telling me if Luna had been around, she probably would have stood up for him and said, hey. I don't think so. How about Luna comes with us, we take the redhead sister, our own party formed, you know? After interacting with the anime community long enough, I know episodes like these and shows like these will not get the credit it deserves, but this is about to be one of the better Betrayal hero party cast aside anime in some time, and it's doing it all without edge and revenge, and I'm really liking that. But of course, if you did get this far in this video, make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here on Patreon, where you can catch my full live reactions to all this and more. Also helps fund the channel and videos just like these. So the thing about an episode like this is usually you'll see, especially on places like Reddit, oh, this is a slow filler, whatever. They cast these super surface level buzzwords that really don't accurately explain what we just saw. I'd actually say I enjoyed episode 2 more than the first because I really am starting to see that the world is way more complex when it comes to its perception of not only the heroes party, but also how the heroes party actually viewed our boy before being cast aside. Because as we know, Mr. Jack of all trades, he was the enchanter in the heroes party, got fired because in comparison to what is seen as powerful in their world, if we're going to be a heroes party, the best of the best, and you're seemingly not reaching the levels that we are in our roles, and you have stayed static for years, it's natural to want to toss them aside. Is it a dick thing to say? Yes, but I don't think at surface level what they said did actually make sense. Yes, if you take a step back and think about it more without super high-fired emotions, yeah, they probably would have realized they were making a mistake. But something that I really like is that they're using this Enchanter Selma as like this base of where an enchanter should be if you're going to be a heroes party. And it does make sense. I know a lot of people are like, how could they be so stupid? But I do think they made sense, like I said, at surface level. So the idea that Selma, right at the beginning of this episode, says, like, I know he's amazing. And while true, he may not be as powerful as me in this role at surface level, I think she says he's 4 times faster at casting than she is. And the interesting thing is it's not just a hero's party being stupid, which you often would see, right? Oh my god, how could they be so arrogant, blah, blah, blah. She literally says enchanters in this world don't get the credit they deserve, and partially it's due to people like her, because people say, this is what an enchanter should look like. It should be this powerful, and it should be exactly like her. If you're not at least this, then you're obviously not cut out for your role. When a job like an enchanter has way more subtle differences than just, can you do this powerful of a spell? The fact that he was seemingly 4 times as fast as her and just doing rapid casting, keeping them buffed up. While sure, maybe he would never be able to be as physically powerful as her in that role, he has different skills that would have made the heroes party remain to be as strong as they are. And because he's no longer around, feats like these are probably not going to happen anytime soon. Not to mention we get introduced to this character, Luna, who actually feels quite bad for what happened. And I think they actually shielded her pretty well, because when you get cast aside from a hero's party, if someone's just timid and then they come back, it's easy to say, okay, you want me back, you guys are obviously struggling, or you know, you wish you would have spoke up, but you didn't speak up. She literally wasn't there when this happened. When that meeting happened, she was nowhere to be seen. And the fact that she says in this moment, had I been around, I would have stood up for you. And he's like, well, she is the one person who always stood up for me. Yeah, you can actually trust in this moment. And it makes you assume that, well, if he isn't coming back to the heroes party, is she going to quit the heroes party and come for him? Probably, but then again, this may go against the kind of message of this whole scene. Bro is straight up saying, like, listen, I'm deeply wounded by what happened here, but at the same time, I have to move forward. You guys made your bed, you're gonna have to lay in it, and to be honest, while I don't hold any negativity towards you, I got a lot of pain for, childhood friends betraying me here, even if you weren't directly responsible, right? It's an interesting dynamic, and I do think what's going to happen, and I think the overall message of the show, because if we remember at the start of the first episode or quickly into it, they talk about party formations, right? And the current gold standard party formation, which is a basic RPG party formation in any video game, is kind of what everyone kind of strives to have. And I did have a comment last week, and I thought it was a really interesting one because it's like, it seems so simple on paper, a tank, a support, a frontline attacker, blah, blah, blah. Why did they never think of this before? But we're thinking of this based on having consumed RPGs and that type of stuff our entire life. If we're looking at this as a real world without video games and stories designing this, until someone makes that party formation, it's probably not going to be thought of. And once it is, it's kind of like how did we never think of this before? Similar to a lot of engineering feats in our own world. So I think what's going to happen in the message overall of this show is that our MC is going to prove that a jack of all trades, because even in this episode, right, he ends up using traps, which in return stops wolves from jumping us and potentially hurting or killing us. And of course, you can make the argument enchanters and stuff probably have some traps, maybe some boosts. But we're very clearly going to see him do multiple things that are not going to be constricted by just a frontline attacker or an enchanter or this or that, right? Like, he's going to use skills in ways that are going to probably flex and probably change the course of how heroes parties or any parties are formed by having someone who can do multiple things rather than just a singular role. Now, singular roles are still important, and I don't think they're going to go away. But at the same time, I do think there's going to be value if someone is truly amazing at doing multiple skills, not needing to master a singular role. Clearly, a character like Orin is going to be able to flex why that's important. And I think this is where an episode like this really shines, is that people are going to be like, oh, it's just a character kind of kicking himself, or, half the characters are hyping him up for being amazing, and then he reads a newspaper about how he's fired, and man, he just wishes it would have happened after the whole expedition. But what's going to end up happening is he's going to quickly, because I can already see, like, he's someone who's very pained about what happened, but he's not overly emotional about it. He feels betrayed. Opening up completely to new people is going to be hard for him, but at the same time, like, he's human, right? He's gonna get a little flustered when some pretty girls talk to him, but at the same time, he's used to talking with women because he comes from a place that had a bunch of women around him. So he's like not gonna be a complete incel about anything. I just think this show has a lot more going for it than I think probably places like Reddit, which, yeah, I know, the most amazing of opinions over there, but at the same time, it does represent, I think, a pretty common thought among people who discuss anime online, right? This show is not going to be a masterpiece. It's not going to be some 10 out of 10 Sakuga fest, but I do think where this is going to shine is showing betrayal in a way we don't normally see, because usually when it comes to betrayal, we're getting revenge, we're seeking vengeance on people, where this is a betrayal that hurts the heart, but doesn't completely break the man to the point that we need to send him to therapy to recover. He has a lot of pain, he has a lot of things he has to work through, but he's immediately being shown. And the fact that it's not just a Selma or this character, most people are like, oh, him not being a part of the hero's party is a big fumble. But the hero party is tunnel visioned. If you're not as good as Selma, then clearly, because Selma at face value is as powerful as someone should be in a hero's party. He wasn't at that level, but enchanters are more than just a surface level power level, right? There's a lot to this show. I'm ready for people to be like, oh my god, you're glazing such a mid show, because that's what happens when people don't read between the lines and they don't have Oonga Boonga action Sakuga impact frames in their face every other second, But you can let me know your thoughts down below. Jack of all trades episode 2, banger of an episode if you ask me, but your thoughts, drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I love to give video shouts to my patrons, because without them, you wouldn't see these videos at all. So today we got Banjo, Vadoko, MMK, Sneppy, Duke Nugan, Porna, AJ, Plays World, Rigel Pelangi, and we also have Blue Buddy. So I appreciate the support. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.